Hello, amazing people, and welcome to another edition of Chit and Chat with April and
Kisha.
and today we're going to be talking about Mom on Board. And like all things, we always talk about parenthood, motherhood, sisterhood, adulthood, childhood, and the hood.
So grab your favorite beverage right here and let's get to chit chatting.
All right, what's your favorite beverage for today, sis?
Okay, so my beverage of choice today, right here, hold on, is Ting. You know, the Jamaican grapefruit juice? Yeah, girl. Yeah. This it right here. Got it in a 2 liter. Where at? Durham, North Carolina. Sure did.
And my drink for today, I have some sparkling zero sugar ice water.
On the side, because I'm trying to stay awake, I also got a little Joe Beans. If y'all don't know about Joe Beans, you ain't been up here. This is locally, and it is better than Starbucks. Anything, yes, it's life. It is life.
Okay. Because she's trying to stay awake, but she on summer vacation. Go figure. Go figure. Okay, so as I stated earlier, today's topic, because kids are out of school, depending on what state you're in, what district you're in, there's been graduations. Your children should be on summer school. If your children is not on summer school, they will be soon. So one of the things that my mama did not like and that we don't like is when it's the summertime and your child is like, Mom, I'm bored. Because let me tell you about my mama.
Man.
You say you bored and she gonna give you some things to do.
A list.
You're gonna be cleaning house, you're gonna be washing clothes, you're gonna be doing some chores that you're not getting paid for because you bored. And my mother, we used to, I don't even know if they still have it today. We used to have them little workbooks.
Oh yes, they do. Because I used to I got one over here shaking her head now.
Yeah, so she would give us a workbook. Even though we was out of school, we was in there doing what they said, arithmetic and reading and writing the 3 R's. And even when my child was little, if he said he was bored, he would have him a little, even though he was out of school, he'll have him a little booklet and he'll get to, so now you're not bored because you're doing some work, even though it's schoolwork and you on summer vacation, but I bet you won't say I'm bored anymore. Exactly. And I think that's where me and my sister and my son got the love of reading for. Because if we were bored, instead of us wanting to have to do chores or do schoolwork, we'll just pick up a book
and start reading. Yep, because that was the best way to get out of doing anything else.
Yes. And plus, it was different. When we grew up, it's different than when our children grew up, because even for some reason, if we was bored, it's because our little friends had went out of town or was somewhere else. Because even though I'm an introvert and I don't like being outside, we stayed outside.
Yes.
We just had to be in before the street light came on.
That's right. This whole I'm gonna be outside during the summer ain't new to us. It's true to us, but we was really outside. Like we was outside, drinking water from the hose outside, playing in the street outside, not trying to get hit by cars outside, breaking bones and things, climbing trees and riding dirt bikes and things outside.
Exactly.
So, yeah, we outside.
Walking to the corner store, walking to Ken's corner store or Mr. Brown's store, getting that penny candy. We was I mean, the world was crazy then, it's crazy now, but we could walk up to the park and go to the park and be playing in the park all day. We can be over the neighbor's house, but not in the house, just in the yard. We could be across the street. We could be down the street. We were outside. Outside. We just had to be inside by the time that first pole light come on. We had to be inside. And we'll come inside, we'll go to the bathroom, get something to drink, and just go back. It's not keep going back and forth. And then if we was in the country, if we was in Amherst County, we was outside. That's why I hate being outside.
And we were just outside.
Reptiles and stuff. But anyway, we were outside. So if we were bored, it was because our little friends weren't available.
Right.
They were out doing something. So we couldn't be outside playing. These kids today, they ain't doing no outside. They because you got everything is right there. You got TV, you got electronics, social media, games. They ain't thinking about being outside. I don't even know if they know how to ride bikes. Who knows?
It's not like I did not try to teach my kids. I got 5, and out of my 5 kids, I think only 3 do. My youngest 2 do not. They don't like to fall. How you gonna ride a bike if you don't fall? That's your motivation to ride the bike, is to keep from falling. And the last time one of my children even got on a one of them little scooter things.
Scooters.
Why she break both arms? How you do that?
But yes, she's a cheerleader.
Exactly. A flyer at that, all up into people's hands. So.
But yeah, I mean, we when we was outside, we had one set of skates. I had one pair, one on, not pair, one on, and my sister had the matching twin on, and we outside roller skating with one skate. We was just doing.
That was our skateboard. We made it work. We made it work.
Yeah, we were outside.
Strawberry shortcakes.
Strawberry
I couldn't even fit them, girl. I was doing my thing. Remember, I bust my head open, and Mama said, "That's what you get," and made me go to sleep. Girl,
now we know you had a concussion. You know, back then they give you some tussin child, a piece of tape.
Right? I wake up and go there eating my macaroni and cheese. I couldn't even.
Girl, you know, they put you slap some tussin on until you go to sleep.
Girl, yeah, she was like, go over there and lay down. And now I'm thinking back on when I could have died.
You could have. Yeah. Girl, we'll go swimming. Like we went to camp, so we did do it. We went to camp, so we went to camp. Camp Brothers. We went to camp. There was swimming, or we could go to Miller Park swimming. EC Glass used to have a swimming thing, but we didn't do all that. But we was at somebody's Y swimming and somebody's lake swimming.
Somebody's creek.
I remember I hit my head on the pool swimming, child, and got home. Had a headache, and of course, what we do,
you lay down and go to sleep. Ain't gonna wake up. We are survivors. I do not claim that song, but oh my God.
We really are. So, but yeah. So if we were bored, it was because we were not at camp. We were not swimming. Our cousins weren't around. Our friends weren't around. But the point is, if we were bored and we told my mama that we were bored, she gonna give you something to do, so you won't be bored. So with that being said, because my sister still has minor children at the house, my child is grown. So I'm going to let her go ahead and give us some strategies, events, ideas of what you can do for your child during the summer, so they won't be like, "Mom, I'm bored."
Well, my peoples, let me tell you, I've been doing this for 24 years now. I had 5 kids. I got some grandkids, still got 2 at the house. And I am bored constantly. Even when they're doing something, they're going, I'm bored. I don't understand that. But here's the thing. I work in the school system. So, of course, I'm out during the summer. And I'm out with my kids. And my kids decide, they want to do all these wonderful things. But guess what? Ain't nobody got funds like that. So what do this mama do? She goes for the free stuff, or the stuff that don't cost a whole lot. So this is what we're going to do. I'm going to give y'all a list of stuff that y'all can do. Now, some of this stuff is, but basically all the stuff I'm going to give you is based in Virginia. But you can look up your state and find all the good stuff that you can. All you got to do is go under the state website and, put in things to do in your state, and they will come up with everything. So first things first, outdoor fun. We're an outdoor family to a certain extent. I don't like reptiles or amphibians. So at certain times, you ain't gonna find me nowhere. But and I don't like hot weather. So as long as I got a fan or something like that, is a cool drink, I'm okay. So we go outside, outdoor fun. If you don't have a pool, the house that I bought has a pool, so that's where we spend most of our time at. But if you don't have a pool, you can go to the beach. We do have the Eastern Shore here. We have Virginia Beach. We've got Yorktown Beach, which is really nice. And we also have another beach, and I can never think of the name of it, but it's in Hampton. It was the quote unquote Black Beach back in the day. So that's where everybody goes. But you can go to those beaches. It's a day trip. You can make it a day trip. You can make it a week. You can do whatever. So we have I think the last time we went to Virginia Beach was maybe 2-3 years ago. And it has changed some, but it is still we didn't got a little bougie, so we see other beaches that we like that's a little bit better. So that's where we be going. But for those who want to go to the beach, there are day trips where you can go. We also do the state parks. I live at the foot of a mountain. I live at the foot of the Blue Ridge Mountains, where they call it the peaks. So at any given time, a 20-minute ride, I can be in the mountains, and we can be at the peaks of Otter, can be walking, we can do hiking. Everything is free. You just, walk up to Sharp Top. At the very top of the mountain is a old Indian house, and you can look out and you can see all the way to Roanoke and all the way to Lynchburg. So it is a beautiful, beautiful landscape. It's just absolutely gorgeous. Just take you some oxygen when you go up. Coming down is a little bit better, and don't do it in the rain. That's all I can tell you. We also have some adventure parks. Now they are in Roanoke, and Roanoke is only about 45 minutes away from me. But they have the exploration park, and they have like zip lining, they have the treetop excursions, they have little mini camps here and there. You can just walk through. We do it mostly in the wintertime, where we go to the Illuminates, where they have all the Christmas lights, and we walk through the whole park. So we will do that. And then, of course, our favorites are the water parks. So in Virginia, we have Great Wolf Lodge, and we have Splash Valley. Well, Splash Valley is in Roanoke. Great Wolf is in Williamsburg.
You also have Water Country USA.
Yeah, we also have Water Country USA, which is attached to Busch Gardens. So yeah, and then there's like a little water park that's within King's Dominion too. So if you feel like you want to pay money, that's fine. You do have your theme parks, which you can go to. We got, like you said, Water Country USA. We got Busch Gardens. We got King's Dominion. And we also have, I think it's called Atlantic Fun Park in Virginia Beach now. It used to be called something else, but I think they switched the name of it. But they do have the water parks. Here where I live at, we have Miller Park Pool, which is a public pool that we can go to. We also have the Y. If you're a member of the Y, you can go. We also have a Crossway Fitness. They also offer pool. They have a pool, and they also offer memberships. There's a couple of pools in some of the subdivisions, and they do offer where you can pay a certain amount and be able to utilize their pool during the summer. So that's always a good option. They do have like a family plan. I think it's like $400, but your whole family can go. And then they also have a free splash pad downtown Lynchburg and over at Riverside Park. So the kids can just go and, do it for free. So, a lot of stuff that they can do. You just, a lot of people will go out and you'll see them have like a pack of picnic, and the kids will play all day. They'll be out there sunbathing because there's enough space for just laying around or just chilling out or whatever. And they'll just be out there. We also have, if you want to take another little day trip and go watch the wild ponies, you can go to Chickateague Island. That's down there near the Eastern Shore as well, in Accomack County. And they do the running of the horses once a year. So you can always go down and see that. And that's a whole big deal with them. They do a whole shindig down there. And then we have some caves. Like Virginia is full of stuff. So we have Luray Cavern, and April and I went to Luray Cavern when we were young.
Times.
Exactly.
And that's why I don't caves now, but go ahead.
Exactly. But you can go there and you can do stuff, and it's up I-81, I believe. No, it's up 64, right before you get to I-81. And then you can go to the Luray Caverns, and then you can actually stop off, because if anybody knows about Route 66 potato chips, the factory is right there. So you can stop and you can do a tour, and they will give you free trips and all kinds of stuff. So that's something that you can do as well. And then apparently also there is a Buc-ee's coming. Yes, loud. In Rock Ridge County. So yeah, we will be taking a trip up there soon. So that's all the outdoor fun. I'm doing the outdoor fun, the theme parks, everything.
2 things. that you didn't mention. One is Natural Bridge, which is out there. They have the zoo, and they have, I'm assuming, because we used to go Natural Bridge all the time, I haven't been in a while, so you have the zoo and you have the museum.
Yes.
Like the wax museum.
Also have, yes.
And a
so
cave.
Yep.
And
the cave, the zoo, you have the Monacan Indian, what did they call it? Y'all went.
Powwow.
No, it's not the powwow. It's something else that they have. It was like they go there and they learn about the Monacan Indian. But it's at Natural Bridge. And you gotta walk. It's like you gotta walk to get to. It's part of the Natural Bridge little tour. But you walk up there and then they have the Indians there and they're doing like, starting fires and telling you about the background and everything like that. And then of course they got the wax museum. Now I'm gonna tell y'all now, Natural Bridge has been in the news because we losing some animals, so I don't know how long Natural Bridge is gonna be open. But we do still have Mill Mountain Zoo, and that's in Roanoke.
Okay.
Yeah, we still got Mill Mountain. They do it. If you can find a camp for your kids, that's fine. We have tons of camps, tons of Christian camps. We actually do have Virginia's diabetic camp here. So if you have diabetic kids and you want them to be able to go to camp, but you're not sure because they don't have you're not sure about, like, is anybody gonna be able to take care of them because they're diabetics, whatever. No, we have I think it's called the JC's, and it's right down the road here. It's in a national park, but yeah, they take care of your diabetic kids, so they have a camp for that. Of course, we do Vacation Bible School. We get it in. The Y has camps. I mean, there's tons of camps, sports camps, all kinds. Every time you turn around, there's something for these kids to do over the summer if you want to spend money. And this is the prime time for our fairs. So right now, maybe 2 miles down the road from me until Friday, we have the Firemen's Fair. So it's a Brookville Timberlake Firemen's Fair that they do every year to raise money for the fire department. And it's a big to do here. It's crowded every night. You buy your wristband, I think it's like $20, and then you can ride unlimited rides, blah, blah, blah. They have food, they have everything, but it's up at Brookville High School, and it's there usually a week. Right after this one is going to be the Salem Fair. That's something that's done every year. And I think that goes on for about a week and a half. And then we also have the Amherst Fair that's coming up, and we have Uncle Billy's Day Fair in Appomattox. Now, who Uncle Billy is, I don't know.
But he got a fair.
And Uncle Billy be doing the food. So Uncle Billy been going on around for years now. So, look and see if you got any fairs going on, because I'm gonna tell you, you're gonna find something. You're gonna find something. Let's see, what else do we have?
One more thing that you forgot is Smith Mountain Lake.
Yes, haven't got to that part yet. So
sorry, go ahead.
So yes, Smith Mountain Lake is another one of our it's a man-made lake that we have here in Virginia. It covers 1, 2, 3, maybe 4 counties. I think that's how big it is. You can go to 3 different sides, and you can be at the beach area because they literally have a beach area with sand and everything. If you like to go boating, they have boats for sale. They have boats for rent. They have jet skis for rent. I mean, it is huge. It actually is so big. It actually looks like it's part of the ocean. Our favorite part to go to is Bridgewater, which is right on the Bedford County, Franklin County line. You cross a big bridge, and then you're right there at it, and it's got a pizza parlor, it's got the arcade, ice cream, it's got like a little boardwalk. You can feed the fish. They have boats docked there. They have music, bands, food. They have some rides, like a bungee jump. Like, they got a bunch of stuff at Bridgewater, and we really like to go there because it's like being at the beach, but you ain't at the beach, and we only 25, 40 minutes away from home. So, and so yeah, Smith Mountain Lake. Just be careful. We tell everybody when you go to Smith Mountain Lake, just be careful. because yes, you can get hurt a lot there because people like to drink, because we like to drink. All right, so now if you are like me and you are a history buff, because I love my history, and I try to take my kids on an educational trip at least once during the summer, and I try to make an African American trip during the summer, but sometimes we can't do it. But Virginia, of course, y'all know, is full of stuff. So we have like the Appomattox Courthouse. We've got George Washington's Mount Vernon. We've got Thomas Jefferson's Monticello and Popular Forest. And like, I literally am like 2 minutes away from Popular Forest. Like my backyard is at Popular Forest. Which ironically, and we didn't know this when we was growing up, was where we went to camp. Camp Brothers.
Camp Brothers.
Yes, the property actually backs up to Popular Forest. Like, yes. And we didn't know that as we were growing up. I take my kids to, we have the aquarium. It's in Virginia Beach, but we also have like one around here in town. It's called Hill City Aquarium. It's at the mall. We also have a bunch of museums. Our favorite to go to is Center in the Square in Roanoke, although we have Amazing Square downtown. But museums are often free to get in or under $10 for somebody to get in. Center in the Square, we really like because even though we had to buy tickets for certain areas, it was not expensive. But they have like a old school candy shop at the basement. They have a whole interactive African American museum floor. They have a sports floor where they talk about concussions and how they come about, and like the pressure and all the scientific stuff that comes behind it. They have a actual kids museum, so it's kind of like an amazement square. It's interactive. And then they had, when we last went, they had birds where you could go and let the birds feed you and stuff, but I think they've changed it since then. Now it's something else. And then they have a whole ecological floor at the very top. We also was able to do, oh my gosh, this was our favorite part. This is why we paid money. So we went to an arcade, and it was $8 for however long you want to be there. And they had every game you can think of. I'm talking from Atari, y'all, all the way up to the PlayStation 5.
They have Miss Pac-Man.
They had Miss Pac-Man, Donkey Kong, all the driving games you could think of. They had the little ping pong game, you had to sit there. The very first game came out with Atari. All your Nintendo games, everything. I mean, everything was retro. And we went in and we just had a blast. But $8, we didn't have to pay anything extra. You just go in, push your button, go, and you play the game. And then they also have a pinball machine. That's on another floor, but you go in and the same thing, you pay a small fee to get in, and you can play all the old retro pinball machines you want to play for however long you want to do it. And it's all free. You just go in and pull that knob and get to going. So we really like going to Center in the Square. That's in Roanoke. Let's see. Colonial Williamsburg is here, so you can always go visit history there. Booker T. Washington's home is here, so you can always go to Franklin County, just do a walkthrough. They play a whole video giving you about his life, and then you're free to walk through the grounds. The last time I went, I think I took our cousin, I think I took Sydney, and we walked through, and like we walked in the smokehouse, and you could just still smell the smoke, the hams, the like, you could feel the stuff just sitting in there. I'm like, gosh, this is like 100 years old, and you can still smell this stuff. So we did that, and just we just outside people. So basically, that's everything I think I can think of that we do. I would say for planning your trips, first thing, budget. What's your budget? If you ain't got a budget, then look for everything free. It'll come up. It will come up. The only thing you gotta do is pay for gas. I can't believe how many times I went somewhere and was able to take all 5 of my kids somewhere and did it for free. All I had to do was pay $20 in gas. pack a lunch from home and we out there. Check for discounts and promotions. See if you can research the attractions and if they have any coupon books ahead of time.
Coupons.
Yes. Make sure you have your kids' interests because not all kids have the same interests. So I always talk it over with my kids. Hey, look, I'm planning on doing this. Do you want to do this or not? And in my household, the majority rules. And for the person who didn't want to do it, you ain't got to do it. That's fine, but you still got to walk with us. You ain't got to like it, but it is what it is. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to find something there that they actually like. They going whatever. My youngest one is famous for doing it. And then when I'm like, okay, well, did you like it? She's like, well, yeah, I did. I mean, I like this part of it. Okay, so you opened your eyes to a whole
That's
new
her
thing.
nana's grandchild.
Yes, she is, honey. And other than that, just have fun. I mean, right now I'm sitting on the beach. Y'all see the waters rolling in. Y'all see my breeze. In my mind, I'm still in Hawaii.
So yes, there's always stuff to do. Like I said, my child is an adult and I'm here in North Carolina, but he I think oh my God, we got camps everywhere. I say this, especially here where I'm at in North Carolina in the Triangle area, if you can't find something to do, then you're not looking, because there's a lot of free stuff. Of course, there's stuff that you have to pay maybe an arm and leg for. There's stuff that you just a little nominal fee, and then there's free stuff. There's camps everywhere. My son has been to science camps. He's been to art camps, music camp. There's camps everywhere. There are camps within the school. Even Durham Public School will have like summer camps.
Yep.
So you have camps. You have the Durham Arts has like art camp where they have drama, they have like the arts and crafts, they have music. You have science camps. My child is a big science buff, so he went to like science camps over by Central. They have the Bright Complex, which during the summers they have science camps. Central has North Carolina Central University has camps. You have parks everywhere. There's what you call it? It's not a water park, but at the Parks and Recreation in Durham, they had a little water
fall. Oh, like a little splash pad.
Yeah, like a little splash pad. They have a splash pad. They have a pool.
Yep.
You can even have them. They can be in karate. They can be in judo. Just different parks and recs. We have a Carolina guide that you can go to the library. The library has camps.
Yes.
Go to the library. You can get the Carolina guide, or you can go online and look to see what's in the area that's free or have a nominal fee that your child gonna be. They have story time, like you can go to a certain place at a certain time. You can take the younger ones and they have someone that's reading a story to them. The story time. They have mom and me times for the summer. They have museums. We have a science, natural science museum here in Durham, and Raleigh they have a bigger one. And I think every like 3-4 months, maybe 6 months, they change the what I'm trying to say, they changed the it's a museum, so they changed what, so like you might have dinosaurs.
The exhibits. They changed the exhibits.
I'm like, what's the word? They changed the exhibits. So they might have dinosaurs for this 3 months, then the next 3 months they might have Legos, but they're always changing the exhibits. When I say camps everywhere, because here in North Carolina, I feel like we got a church, a school, and an ABC store on each corner. I'm just saying. I'm just saying, like literally. You have a church in a school in a church, and then across the street it could be an ABC store.
Exactly.
In each corner. So there's always things to do. Parks, pools, camps, outdoor. We are in North Carolina. We got the Outer Banks. Outer Banks got a million. I just went to the Outer Banks a few weeks ago, and I have been in North Carolina for almost 30 years. And last year was like the first time I went to the Outer Banks. And a couple weeks ago, I went again. But you got Nags Head, you got Kill Devil Island, you got Duck Island, you got Rice Island. I mean, you just got all on the shore. It's like bam, 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 bam. You got the lighthouses, you got the running of the horses, the wild horses, you got the people that did the airplane.
Oh, the Wright brothers.
You got the Wright Brothers museum, which I went to the Wright Brothers museum, and it is bigger than what you think, because it's literally like they have the stones of like the first flight and where they took off for, where they landed, and then the second one, how they got a little further, and the third one, how they got a little further. They got the plane, and the replica of the plane. They have a monument. So they have that. To my surprise, which I didn't know, when you go into the museum, Paul Laurence Dunbar, the poet, him and one of the Wright brothers was good friends.
Wow.
They were good friends. They had like a little newspaper together when they was in school. Of course, they it dissolved, but yeah. I can't remember which one of the Wright brothers, but they were good friends.
Yeah.
Who knew? And then what else? They have the Duck Donuts. I mean, here in North Carolina, Duck Donuts is like Krispy Kreme, Dunkin' Donuts, but it's called Duck Donuts. It's like
we finally got one here.
Yeah, we got one in Virginia, but the original is at Outer Banks Duck Donuts. Then on the other end, you got the Grandfather Mountain, where Andy Griffith. If anybody watch Madlock, the Andy Griffith show. Yeah, Andy and Barney, and because Matlock was from Grandfather Mountain, and it is a mountain with some bridges. You can walk across the little rickety bridge. They even have Mayberry. They even have the town Mayberry and replicas of the sheriff's house and the barber. I can't think of the barber's name. His barber shop.
Otis.
No, Otis was the drunk. Otis, I think, was the drunk that was always there to just check himself in and out the jail because he was.
Yeah, okay, it might have been Clyde then.
His barber shop. So yeah, they have the replica. We have which is up now because we had a hurricane come through here and took out roads to lead to Tennessee and things. So we still have the Asheville Zoo. We have Biltmore Estates. Gloria Vanderbilt's people, Anderson Cooper's people. we have the Biltmore Estates that's open year round, and they have different seasons. I want to go in the Christmas time because I want to see all the lights and candles, but they're open now, with the garden. Speaking of gardens, here in Durham, we have Duke Gardens. We have Duke, which they have their chapel. We have colleges and universities. We have HBCUs. We have PWIs that's here that you can actually go and just walk on the campuses, take a tour, for free. Just go and walk and be like, hey, I visited, this school. We got, like I said, HBCUs. We have Shaw. We have Central. We have St. Aug. There's a little stuff going on with St. Aug, but we do have St. Aug. Not too far from here, we have, Greensboro, we have A&T, we have Bennett. Speaking of history and museum, I mean, who knew Greensboro? My sister and I we took our kids to the Woolworths Museum. I say Woolworths because that's where it is at the old Woolworths where they did the first sit-in. And who knew, besides Woolworths and A&T and Bennett being there, I did not know the Greensboro. And Greensboro is about 45 minutes to an hour away from Durham. I said 45 minutes depending on how I drive, but that's another story. But who knew Greensboro had all this history, African-American history?
Yes. I'm going to tell you what, I will tell anybody if they want to learn about that piece, please go. It was the International
African American Museum.
It's
downtown Greensboro. It's in the old Woolworths building.
It don't look like much on the outside.
It don't, but on the inside it's a lot.
Goodness.
I learned some stuff.
Yes.
Grown, and I learned stuff that I was like, and another thing that I learned about it, because of course you have A&T, and A&T has history by itself, complete history by itself. You can go on A&T's campus and walk around, and they have the reflecting pool, and at the reflecting pool they have like this brick wall that you can still see the bullets because they had a riot back in the day. But also so A&T's got history by itself. But up the street from A&T, where my child used to live on off-campus apartment, there's this building. I ain't know if it was a hotel. it kind of looked to me, because I was like, is this a sane asylum? Because it needs some painting.
Yeah.
Need to paint the outside. But evidently that was like the first Black hospital.
Yes. Wait, is that where they
or in the South or something like that, huh?
Is that where the guy he did the Vaseline? The Vicks. That's where he invented the Vicks.
I can't remember, but yeah,
I think that's where he invented
but that's another thing we learned. The person who invented Vicks, paper up.
Black.
I mean, you go to Greensboro, and you go to the museum, it'll talk about, national history and what all, our ancestors went through with, when we still going through. But it also gives you some history for Greensboro that, like, I never knew Greensboro had that much history, like, for real.
Yes.
So, but that's right up the street. Then you have what is it? No, it's Emerald Point, which is sort of like Water Country USA, but it's a water park. So you have Emerald Point. Down towards Charlotte, you have Carowinds, and then of course Charlotte is the Queen City. So there's a lot going on in Charlotte. If you like sports, one thing about North Carolina, they like them some sports, because we have UNC Chapel Hill, we have Duke, we have NC State, and then we have so we have ACCs, and then we have the HBCUs. We have the Carolina Panthers here. We have the Charlotte Bobcats here. We have, I can't remember the soccer team, but the soccer team. We have the hockey team here in Raleigh. It's sports everywhere.
You have Charlotte Motor Speedway for those who like to
Speedway.
Go real fast.
Yes, we have the Speedway. There's Concord Mills. That's right before you get to Charlotte. So Concord Mills is in Concord, between Greensboro and Charlotte. Yes. So literally right before you get into the city of Charlotte. We have then we have the military bases. Some people might be a military buff, which was Fort Bragg, but now it's Fort Liberty, and I don't know if they're gonna change the name again or whatever. But we have in Fayetteville, we have a military base. We have Fayetteville State. We have Johnson C. Smith in Charlotte. So we have a lot of HBCUs. And for those who don't know about HBCUs, most of the HBCUs are in the South.
Yep.
And North Carolina is North Carolina, and I forgot what other state. I don't know if it's Tennessee or Alabama, but North Carolina is like one of the top states that has the most HBCUs. Right. So, and then it's like I said, we have military bases, we have beaches, we have mountains, we have science everywhere. Science. I'm in RTP, Research Triangle Park. It is science everywhere. Yes. Everywhere. Definitely. So that and like I said, another camp. So you can take your child, walking on campus is free. So you can take your child to places that's free. They may have a nominal fee. Of course, if you go into amusement parks, it's gonna cost more, but you can just get in the car. You can just get in the car and drive. We're gonna have a bucket soon. I've seen some signs.
Yay!
The street for me is Mebane. We have the outlet. So you have Tanger Outlet Mall, which is up the street, and Buc-ee's is gonna be close to that. So yeah, just you just have to Google. Research. Go to your library. Your library has, you can go online and Google, or you can just go to the closest library. I know our libraries, because we got multiple libraries. You can go to the library, you'll find like newsletters or things you can just flip through, or even ask the librarian, because the librarian have camps and whatnot too. So there's always something for your child to do. If your child don't do it, it's because they don't want to do it.
Exactly. And it is also up to you as a parent to ask your child, do they want to do it? But if you know that that's something your child is interested in, and it may not be that they don't want to do it, it may be that, they're just nervous to try it, or they may have some anxiety about doing it or anything like that. You know what? Grab a kid's friend and be like, hey, we're going to go and do this. Make it fun for them. Because you may not know, you're taking a friend with them. They may not have the opportunity to go out and do some of these things. So you may be making a memory for somebody else and for somebody else's kid who's born. So you're doing like a whole bunch and for another kid as well as your kid and for that kid's parents, because now that kid's parents ain't gotta hear, I'm on board. So
yeah. And it's a lot of arts and crafts. Just not to cut you off, but just to let you know, there's a lot of arts and crafts. You can go to Walmart or to the Dollar Tree and get a little canvas and get paint and be at home and do like
sip and paint.
Kool-Aid. I was going to say with Kool-Aid.
With Kool-Aid.
Sip and paint with Kool-Aid. Or get some clay or that Play-Doh and the mushy stuff and create, even for the girls, you can get the beads and the string and create jewelry. So it is even things that you can do at home so they won't be bored. I know also here we have a craft place that my mama likes to go to. She ain't no child, but she likes to go to, but they have kids there where you can pick a figurine and then you can paint it. And then once you paint it, you leave it there for like a week because they're gonna put it in the I guess the stove and stuff to make it glaze over. And then when you come back, it be all shiny, whatever figurine you have. So you can go. We go there a lot, but I've also seen these same figurines in Walmart. And you can get them with these figurines, and you can get paint, and you can paint you a figurine, whether it's I painted a dolphin, a gingerbread, Christmas tree, whatever, and just do arts and crafts. Like I said, my child's a science buff. My child was getting stuff and just mixing stuff and stuff. I had to paint my walls, and because he'd have saw something on TV or he'd have Googled something, so I'm gonna create that. Watch people, but I'm gonna create that, and he mixing stuff together and just all sciencey.
So I also, and I literally just finished talking to my girls about this, and I said, but when I was logging on to do the Zoom, and I said something about, I know what I meant to tell y'all, and they were like, what? And I was like, y'all gonna learn to sew this summer, and it was like, and I said, look, here's my thing. It would be a miss if I don't try to teach y'all basic living skills. What if y'all got a favorite shirt and your button fly off? You gonna get rid of a favorite shirt just because the button fly off? No, you replace that button. If you got an extra button that come with your clothing, if you find the button that fell off, if you got to get a new button or whatever, replace the button. I'm going to show you how to do that. So I was like, you know what? I was like, Dollar Tree has the little, they have little squares over in the craft section. And I was like, I got thread. We're going to learn how to do a little stitching. Even if y'all can't do nothing but stitch together a little thing or whatever, it's going to show y'all how y'all can sew. We're going to do that. I got crochet needles. I don't know how to crochet. But guess what we can ready to do? We can ready to crochet us a line. That's what we're going to do. Remember that long line we used to crochet?
We used to do.
And then we like, all right, we done.
We ain't never make nothing but that long line because that's as far as we could go. I could never figure out how to connect it to make a second line going. But we had that long line going, wrapping around. We had
exactly. I'm like, we're gonna learn. Yeah, we're gonna learn something.
Or the latch hook. You get the thing, take the yarn, get the little latch and latch hook, make you a little rug or something like that.
Exactly.
So it is always something to do. And then whatever your child likes as a parent, whatever your child likes, then encourage them and feed them during the summer. And when I said feed, not like hunger, like my child was in science. So I made sure he had a stick, rock, string, scissors, whatever he had to do to create stuff. Cause like I said, he was mixing up stuff, but so I encouraged and fed his curiosity in science. Just be careful with that. He liked Legos. He was in robotics. He was building robots with his Legos and stuff. Went to a Lego camp. So just encourage that. And if nothing else fails, get them a book. You can go to the library and get them some books, and they can read during the summer. Some schools have for elementary that they want you to read so many books for the summer, and then you come back and get a little pizza party or something like that. You can encourage them to read books. You can even go on Amazon and get audio books.
Yep.
You know, ebooks. However, get a book. I mean, I like ebooks too, but it ain't nothing but like having that book actually
in the front of
you.
Yep. Exactly.
The page.
Exactly.
I mean, some of these books out here that's for kids, for elementary, middle school, and high school, you know, you read the book and they turn it into a movie.
Yep.
But read the book first.
Exactly. And that's what I said. But you know what? Ain't gonna lie and ain't gonna trip. Cause when we got in school, when we were in school, I had a bunch of students who would come to me and they would be like, they'd be English class and they'd be like, oh my God, Miss Pennell, I can't. I'm like, English class is so boring, blah, blah, blah. And then I gotta read this book. And I was like, okay, so what are you reading? You know, we had to read everything when we was in school. So they'd be like, oh, Miss Pennell, we gotta read oh gosh, what is that name of that book? It's not the Scarlet Letter. It is, what is the one where the girl, she claimed that she was going crazy because the guy, hold on, the husband wanted her, and she was in love with the guy, but he wouldn't leave her husband, wouldn't leave his wife, and they ended up having her.
What kind of school book is this?
Hold on, it's
What
hold
kind
on.
of school book is this?
It's hold on. It is, I cannot think of the name. It's something about the witch. Hold on. It is a book they read every year. And I told the kids, I said,
Girl, what kind
here's
of
the
book
thing.
is this?
I said, here's the thing. I have read the book and okay, I tell you what, Christian Bale, he played in, hold on, let me look it up. I can tell you because he played in the movie.
Ain't the Count of Monte Cristo.
No, that's Leonardo DiCaprio.
What kind of school book is this?
Hold on.
Well, while she's looking at that, one of my favorite books that turned into the movie, and I must say I ain't even seen the movie yet, and I need to. I ought to be ashamed of myself. There's one of me and my sister's favorite books is a coming of age book. Is Are You There, God? Is Me, Margaret.
Yeah, girl, that's my favorite.
The book. It is. That was the book, and
wait, did you
gave this book to. We even gave this book to my nieces as they was coming of age, and the movie has been out for like 3 years. I haven't seen it yet, so now that we talking about it, I'm gonna put that on my list because I have to watch. I might have to go back and read the book again, but I've read it several times. But that was one of our favorite books. Is Are You There, God? Is Me, Mom.
Do you know the other book, Forever? Remember the other book, Forever, by Judy Blume? That's out on Netflix now.
Yeah, I heard.
It's coming back for a second season, and it's an all black cast.
I heard.
Yeah.
So we like books like Amelia Bedelia, Pippi Longstocking.
Amelia Bedelia was my favorite. She was crazy. She was a little special.
Pippi Longstocking.
Let me tell you, I read every Pippi Longstocking because I said, in my mind as a child, even in my mind as a child, I said, how these people leave her by herself so long with a horse as her guardian?
Yes.
People come into the house and she turning them away like it ain't no thing, and they okay with it.
Yes.
Girl, we be in foster care.
Who you telling? Only in the books.
Girl, yes. I'm like,
only in the books. Girl, what's the name of the book?
I cannot. No, it's not The New World. Although that was a good book because that was a good movie because it was about the Pocahontas. Keep talking. I'm gonna find it.
So anyway, we might have to put this in the name of the book in the comment section.
Exactly, because I cannot remember the name of that book.
I'm trying to figure out what book she talking about.
Oh, they talking about somebody
when you need a wife and all this, all of it. And they trying to ban books, but y'all got this up in here. But anyway, I digress.
Oh, girl. Yeah. Hold on a minute. I think Winona Ryder played in it.
So, that's an old school book, child.
Yeah, it's an old book. The Crucible.
Okay.
The Crucible. The kids would come to me and be like, Miss Pennell, I don't understand the Crucible. And I'm like, and they're like, who is this man? And I keep getting them mixed up and blah, blah. And I would tell them, I'm like, honey, I read the book and I seen the movie. And I'm going to tell you how you're going to get through this. I want you to get your book. I want you to go to wherever it's streaming at, and I want you to watch that movie, and I want you to find the part that you're having a problem with, and you will then understand it. Do you not know every single one of them kids came back and was like, I passed my test? I said, because you watched the movie. I'm just saying. I said, it's easier to put a face with what is going on in the book so that it'll help you remember. And it was like, yeah, because when they were talking about like her whole monologue about going crazy and stuff like that, they said the only thing they could think of was her looking up and acting like that she was seeing stuff or whatever. And it was like, that's what got them through that part, because they remembered. And I was like, I'm trying to tell you, yeah, girl, they be coming to me for everything. But yes, it was the Crucible.
A lot of books have moved, like The Outsiders.
Oh, my kid read they read that in school. That hasn't been banned yet.
The Outsiders.
But Lord of the Flies has.
Yeah, The Outsiders with
what?
Derry and Pony Boy and Johnny Cakes. And
why did my child just say, Mama, we got to see Pony Boy's butt? No. Whose butt? Soda Pop's butt.
Soda Pop.
They watched the movie. What am I signing off on? I don't even be reading this stuff.
Yep, Soda Pop. And,
I need to stop signing paper like
that. All of those guys that played in Outsiders went on to play bigger movies because
Dirty Dancing and
and then Karate Kid. And I was boohooing crying all up in the movie.
I know that Cobra Kai, because one of them he played Cobra Kai. Mm-hmm.
Yep. So
my child in here listening to the podcast. So
The Outsiders, The Count of Monte Cristo. What other books did we?
What other books did we have to read?
All kind.
Oh gosh, yeah. I mean, I read The Hobbit, Lord of the Rings.
Their Eyes Were Watching God.
Oh, and Miss Jane Pittman. Yes. Yes.
And on Their Eyes Was Watching God. What you doing, Janie? I'm watching God. That's like my
Yep. Exactly.
And even though TK bless his heart was crazy, but so The Color Purple was a book.
Yep.
Is a book and a movie.
Yep.
Movie twice.
I'm gonna tell you right now, and I'll probably get some backlash, but I don't like the new one.
Because it's a musical. I mean, the Broadway play was a musical too, but it's more of a musical. My thing is that certain parts of the movie, I was expected to be one thing because of the book and the movie, the original movie, and it's
And little do people know that The Color Purple was the first book in a series in a trilogy. You got to read the other two books, because the other two books will talk about Olivia and her brother. Yep. And then the third one, I can't remember. I think it was after. So the first book was about Miss Seeley. The second book was, I think, about the kids and how their life was. And I think the third book was after they came back together. So it was actually a series, a trilogy.
Well, even with that, The Women of Brewster Place was a book, and then was a TV show. And then they had Basil that's in they had a book about how Basil was tripping. So and y'all may or may not know about these books, but anyway, some of these books we read in high schools, and
I was an avid reader.
Some of them we read, some of them I read in college or as an adult. That's movies now. But like I said, you can always escape in books. You can, I mean, even Game of Thrones is a book. It's a whole set of books. Child, you can't be watching. You got to watch the movie. You got to watch the show. You don't like Game of Thrones, but anyway.
I didn't. I mean, Game of Thrones is right up there, I guess, right up there with Vikings, but I don't know. I don't know.
Game of Thrones
I don't think I can get into.
But then I became Game.
I don't think I can get in Game of Thrones because it's like dragons and this and that and all the other. I'm more of a historical fiction type person. Like, give me a historical fiction book, and I can pinpoint like when in history that it actually happened. So like I like Vikings, the TV show Vikings. I watched that from beginning to end, all the seasons. I think it was like 3 or 4 seasons. And then I watched The Last Night. And little did I know that I think it was The Last Night or the last something. Anyway, it coincided with the Vikings, because the Vikings TV show in that, the second one actually had the same people in it, and it was also based around the same time. So I'm more of a historical fiction person, because I'm like, I can pinpoint exactly when it happened. The other book that I read, and I read this as an adult, and I'm gonna tell you, this is about, I want to say the place is either at Virginia State or Virginia Union, but it's called The Yellow Wife. Y'all need to read that. That's all I'm saying. We need to have a book podcast. I'm an avid reader, but I'm telling you, The Yellow Wife, The Yellow Wife, Sadiqa Johnson, I think that's her name. You gonna go to Virginia State and be like, and how did I not know this? How did I not know this?
So y'all got some books to read, and some of these books ain't for the kids. Ain't for the kids, but
ain't for the children.
It ain't for the children, but we just gave you a list of things to do for North Carolina and Virginia. But whatever state you are, Google what they got going, things to do for the children, things to do for the summer. What's free, what's not free. Go to your public libraries, camps. You got a lot to do for the kids, so they won't come back and say, Mom, I'm bored. And if they are, they can always go old school. But since you're bored, you need to clean
your my baseboards.
You do some chores.
These baseboards need one.
Yeah, do some things, get a job, job, or you can pull out the little workbooks and have them get ready and prepare themselves for the upcoming school year.
This your get ready book.
Yeah, this your get ready book. So with that being said, amazing people, thank you for joining us for this episode of Mom on Board. And you can always put comments at the bottom. And until the next episode, we wish you blessings and love.
Bye.